Torah. I'll be adding you on in just a second.
Yeah, on Ask Shara. Just ask Shara. Any topic, it don't matter. Just ask Shara. Ask Shara. On Thursdays, Facebook Live.
Hey guys.
Hashtag Ask the Shara Thursday. Hashtag Ask the Shara Thursday. Hashtag Ask the Shara Thursday. Facebook Live on Thursday. Hashtag Ask the Shara Thursday. Hashtag Ask the Shara Thursday. Hashtag Ask the Shara Thursday.
Thomas, hey, how you doing?
Facebook Live on Thursday.
What's up, guys? Welcome, you guys. Share the broadcast. I'm all over the place. I'm excited. Share the broadcast. Hit those hearts. Hit those likes. Say hey, so I know you're here. Thank you so much for watching. This is dope. Another episode. This is always great, no matter how many times I do this. So hey, Chantel, I'm so glad you're able to make it on. Before I invite my guest on, I just want to don't break it. I'm just going to invite more people on, and then we'll get Torah on and get the show started. So, hey, everybody. You guys are beautiful. Love to see your names and those hearts. Yes. All right. And feel free to invite your friends on. Share the broadcast on your own feed. Help us spread the word. Appreciate it so much.
Facebook Live on Thursday.
How y'all doing on this Thursday evening? Y'all all right? Are you guys doing okay? I hope so. All right. Y'all all right? Y'all doing okay? All right, let's get Torah on and we'll get it on started. What's up, guys? Alrighty, let's see. Are you guys able to hear me and see me okay? Am I frozen or anything? Finally off work on a Thursday night. I'm glad. I'm super glad. Good. Alrighty.
Yeah, on Ask Shara. Just ask Shara. Any topic, it don't matter. Just
Hey, Shoshana. One of my favorite people. Hey.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Hey. Yeah.
Perfect. I can hear you too.
Yeah.
Yes, I hear you perfectly. How you doing?
Do I sound good?
Girl, you sound good.
Do I sound good?
Yes.
Okay, good. Awesome.
Yes, you sound perfect. Hey guys, can you hear? Let's just make sure. Can you guys hear both of us? Make sure everybody can hear us okay. Where y'all at? Don't be quiet just because we have a new guest. Don't be quiet. They know I'm going to get at them.
Don't be scared.
Exactly. Hey, Elijah. Welcome. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Ask Tesharia Thursdays. I'm the host, Tesharia, and this is my lovely guest for the evening, Miss TorahCents. And we're going to be talking about healthy versus unhealthy relationships, y'all. Something that is a huge topic for the culture. And so I am going to, good, I'm glad you guys can hear me. Perfect. I am going to allow Torah to introduce herself. Just tell us a little bit about who you are, where you're located, and what do you do?
Well, my name is TorahCents. That's what I go by online. And well, my actual name is Simone Thomas Blakely, but I pretty much go by TorahCents everywhere online. And TorahCents comes from first 5 books of the Bible. It also means instructions in Hebrew. The sense comes from, it's my 2 cents on the wisdom of the instructions of the Bible. And I pretty much, what I do is I help women live for God and love the lives that they live. And I do that by providing practical solutions that help them overcome their everyday obstacles without them having to compromise their faith. And one of the most recent ways that I'm doing that is I'm helping, ambitious, smart, successful women date smarter and successfully towards marriage.
Nice, nice. And so, what I love to do in the beginning of the show is to do like a little activity slash icebreaker to get the crowd involved
Okay.
in the discussion. So, for tonight's icebreaker, I would like everybody to share like one lesson that they've learned from an unhealthy relationship. And so, Torah, you can go first. And it could be any relationship in this question. It can be friendship, intimate relationship, some family relationship, whatever, or even career relationship. What is one thing that you've learned from something that was toxic or unhealthy? And guys, you guys can share as well.
Oh, I've learned that it's 100%. It's like not your fault that people are toxic, but it's your responsibility to make sure that you set boundaries so that you are not affected by it. A lot of times we get angry and we feel like, oh my gosh, he did this or she did that. But it was really our responsibility all along to set those boundaries and to enforce them. It's not that person's, we lay too much blame on another person. So that's what I learned. It's like it's my responsibility to make sure I'm taken care of.
I like that. So even though we cannot control other people's actions, we can control our part of that situation. Okay,
Correct.
nice. You guys have anything you want to share? What is one thing that you've learned from any toxic relationship? I think that regarding unhealthy relationships, a lot of times there's career or employment relationships that are toxic, our jobs that are just ridiculous, but we stay because we're comfortable or we like that paycheck or we like the benefits. So,
Right.
yeah, let's see. I guess I share. A good leader also shares. Don't let anyone tell you your standards are too high. That's a good one. For me, what is one thing I've learned from a toxic relationship? I guess the aspect of you can't change others, so you really do have to take that ownership. Like you're the only one that has control over your own life, and so you have to decide whether you're gonna stay or not, and understand that both have consequences. All right, they're coming in. Shoshana says, be a leader. Ebony says, holding your tongue can do more harm than help in some cases. I like that. Anita says, not to turn a blind eye to red flags. Yes, that's a big one. Okay, I like it. Anything else, guys, before we begin? I don't want to communicate. Communicate. That's huge. I'm stronger than I thought. Yeah, I'm stronger than I thought. I like that. I like that a lot. Okay, so let's get into the discussion. So you talk a lot about just helping women get into the position that they'd like, and then from a biblical perspective, pursuing marriage. So define what an unhealthy or toxic relationship is from your understanding, or like from your perception or perspective. What is that?
It's endless, but just a general perspective, unhealthy or toxic relationship is number one, when people are not willing to look at themselves, when there are parties that are not willing to be introspective, because it's two people that have to come together in order to have a relationship. And when at least one person isn't willing to do that, it makes the situation unhealthy. So I would say that. Two, when parties are more likely to look at the other person in terms of what they're not doing. We have a lot of that. We have a lot, well, he's not doing that, or she's not doing that, or they're not doing that, whatever. But when it comes to them, they're not paying attention again to what they have control of. It's kind of like when I talk to women and they're like, "Oh yeah, well I had to cut that person off," and I'm like, "Well, did you tell them you're gonna cut them off?"
Mm.
And they're like, "Well, no, they should have known." I'm like, "They read your brain? They read your mind?" And they're like, "Well, no, they should have known." I'm like, "No, we come from different regions. We have different upbringings. We have different perspectives on life. And so when you try to force your region, your perspective, your culture on another person, that creates toxicity within the situation. And you think that you're doing the right thing. You got high standards when in reality, you're destroying the relationship and yourself at the same time. So I don't think that there has to, like, people think that there has to be some
Mm-hmm.
abuse or some, no, like that's toxic in itself when you're not willing to look at yourself and be introspective, and you're quick to blame another person for why things are not working out in a relationship. And most people are not investing in their character development on an
Right.
everyday basis. Most people aren't. And so when you're not investing in your character, that's going to be there's going to be a breakdown in relationships just in general when you're not working on yourself. So
Hmm.
most of these relationship problems, and I got this from a friend of mine, if they're not like marital problems, these are personal problems that we're not solving within ourselves first, and when we come together we make it about a relationship problem. These are personal
Right. And
problems.
so, with that being said, so you came out just the box just shooting. See, I didn't expect you to just come out just, shooting so hot. You know what I'm saying? Okay. You hit home, but it's all right. It's okay. With that being said, so I'm a firm believer, and I'm a therapist by profession, but I'm a firm believer in people, singles, even if whether they're in a relationship or they're not in a relationship, but they're not married, pursuing couples counseling, even by themselves, for that aspect alone, for that personal development, learning what your triggers are, learning your own issues or toxicity. Why do you think a lot of people, particularly in the Black culture, don't pursue that?
Because I think one of the biggest reasons is because of religion and what we've been taught in religion, and the way that we've been taught in mainstream religion in our community, because we rely heavily. I'm a believer.
Yeah.
I know you're a believer, right? So I'm not stumping on being a believer, because I
Right.
am one. But the things that we're taught in mainstream religion is that everything is, oh, if it doesn't work, it ain't God. If it works, it's God. And everything is God, and everything that bad is the devil. And so it takes so much personal responsibility to the point where we don't feel like we need to work on anything, because hey, if it's God, it's gonna work.
Mm,
Um, and it takes a lot of personal responsibility off of ourselves. And I think that's one huge reason why we don't do
yeah.
that. Why we
I
don't
love
pursue.
that. That's so true, because then we can blame the devil and we don't have to worry about ourselves. Just it's the devil.
We don't. Right. Oh, she the devil. And it's like, no, that's a human flawed being. That's a human being with flaws. Now, how are we going to interact with that person? Knowing that, and knowing that we're also flawed. How are we going to interact with ourselves? And how are we going to be question ourselves? And a lot of us don't want to take accountability for that. It just makes it so hard. The things that I've gone through with friends, I know most people wouldn't go through, because they feel like, oh, it's a waste of time. I'm like, no, that person is worth it. Like, she's worth
Right.
it. More than it. And after we got through whatever we need to get through, it's smooth sailing.
Hmm. Because you've done the work. You know what I'm saying? That's the personal development.
We've done the work.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. And you guys, as you come in, hey everybody, if you have questions, feel free to post them and we will address them when we see them. So thank you so much. Personal development. That's good.
Also, I'm gonna need help because I can't see any comments because of the horizontal
Okay.
view on my phone.
We just have some comments saying that's a word. Couples counseling, even alone. That's real. That's real. Let me make sure I'm not missing any questions at this point. Oh, use your savior complex on yourself. I like that.
Yeah, yeah, I love it.
Yeah, no, we don't do that though. Isn't it funny how just like human behavior, like how we work, we just ironically we can use everything for everybody else, but when it comes to us, we're like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just perfect.
It, it's a reason why we were told to check out the beam in our own eye before we, look at the log in our brothers. There's a reason for that.
Oh my gosh, that's real.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned toxicity isn't necessarily when someone is cheating on us or when someone is physically abusive, emotionally abusive, sexually abusive. A lot of times it has to do with our own issues of lack of communication or always blaming someone else or not being introspective is what you're saying. I like that. Would you guys agree? Disagree? If it hurts, say ouch. You know what I'm saying? This is a real platform.
They're less obvious to us. So it's easy to say, "Oh, he cheating, girl," or "he beating on you." That's toxic. Like, it's so easy. It's so hard to, like, the little things that many of us are guilty of, that I myself have been guilty of, to admit, you know what, that's toxic. There's a study that was done that 85% of the participants said that they knew they had toxic friends.
Wow.
Either they're not realizing their own toxicity, or we're all sharing the same 16% of toxic friends. And that's not, you know what I mean? Like, no, like, all of us have exhibited certain type of toxic traits, but we shouldn't be labeled toxic. They're just the toxic traits that come out. And we're not all sharing those same.
Right, can't be.
Friends.
How many billion people in them? Nah. Right. Pamela says, are there two spirits that operate in the earth? So one of those two things influence, although I do agree that some things we have to own, that we have issues with, that we have to take ownership as well. Okay. I'm assuming this means that there are powers outside of our control that are in effect, is what Pamela is saying. But there's also ownership as well. Okay. We got some people saying ouch. Yeah, that's real. So can you talk about how someone, so this is like my pet peeve. I feel like a lot of people in society, if there's a female that may not like a gentleman, say he's a nice guy, whatever the case is, but it just doesn't work. It may be toxic in some form or fashion that other people don't see. So she decides not to pursue him. But everyone else is like, oh, well, no, you should still give him a try. Or you sure? But he's not that bad. So can you talk to what toxic means when it just means from the point of view of it just doesn't work? Not saying this person is bad and this person is bad, but just as a couple, it just doesn't work. Can that be toxic as well?
It would have to have toxic traits, but things that, if it doesn't work, it could be a myriad of issues. It could be she's just not attracted to him. Like, she can't get over the fact that she's just not attracted. Whatever it is, she's been pushing herself. He's a good man, but she just can't get it. Okay, then it's time to bounce. And I wouldn't necessarily say that particular thing is toxic. But if, like, for example, I would give myself an example. I was dating this guy, and I thought he was dope, and he thought that I was dope, but he would use the Bible to try to, like, control the conversation. Or if I had a point that I wanted to raise, he would try to use the Bible to make my point moot. And to me, that shows signs of bad character, someone who is insecure. And so that would be like some toxic behaviors. Even though I think that you're dope, there's no way I would marry you because of that. Because I think a huge thing when it comes to me being a woman and you having more physical power than me, you need to be able to be influenced by me because you have more physical power than me. And if you can't be influenced by me positively, I don't care how dope you are, we're not moving.
Period. That's so
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that would be a toxic thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That is why people stray away from religion. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would be like people saying, "Oh, Simone, he has this, he has that. Why would you stop talking to him?" I'm like, you just don't get
Exactly.
it.
But people do that. You know,
You don't
people
get
people
it.
on the outside do that, and then female or male, the person who decides to forsake that relationship or not pursue it gets frustrated because it's like trying to continuously repeat a broken record, or people just don't understand because they don't know the full story.
Right.
Men who
Right.
look at women like they should be seen and not heard. Oh. Is that toxic?
Of course. It's
Mm-hmm.
misogynistic, it's chauvinistic, it's devaluing the feminine image of the Most High here on earth.
Yes.
And whenever you deny that, which has to complement masculinity in order for the full glory to be bestowed, then yeah, that's going to create a toxic environment.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Christians that use the word to be superior make it hard for non-believers to trust us. Big facts.
Yeah, definitely.
Big facts. Or old um, theories of what a woman should do or what a woman is or her place in a relationship also make it hard for people to want to aspire for that Christian model of what relationships should be. Would you say the same, or could you expound on that?
Can you repeat the question so I make sure I
Yeah.
understand?
So one of the viewers, Chantel, was talking about how Christians that use the word to be superior make it hard for unbelievers to trust us. And so, can you talk about how some people may
Mm-hmm.
use like older biblical models of what a relationship is or what a woman should do in regards to relationship, how that can be toxic in today's society?
Um, One of the biggest examples that I see continuously used today, and I think I posted it on my page. It was like either a truth or trash, and I just want to hear people's opinion. It's not always my opinion, but it was a photo of a woman, and the meme says it says something like women need to get back to being women, and it had a
I
woman
saw that.
putting in something
Yeah.
in the oven, and it had a woman doing laundry, and I'm like, this is what y'all think encompasses woman. It's all a caricature
Yep.
of womanhood. There are women who do that. There are women who don't. And it becomes toxic when you take those and you sum up. This is
Mm-hmm.
womanhood, right? This is what, especially when we have women out here doing the same types of jobs that men are doing. So if you're saying this is womanhood, then where then are you committed to the manhood caricature that's paying for
Okay.
everything? That's the only one working where I can be at home. Is that it? Or we both got jobs? Is if we both got jobs, we both cooking, like we both cleaning. Like there is no, and I don't particularly cook. I don't even like we hire out to clean because that's as a woman, my genius zone isn't there. My genius zone is to help my husband become a millionaire. And that's not cooking and cleaning at this point in time. That's where my brain is to help that happen. And so therefore we hire out so that I can be in a position where I'm using my brain so we can build wealth. And in the kitchen, I'm not building wealth. I just don't
Right.
want to do it. I'm not building wealth sweeping. I'm not doing that. But I'm building wealth when I get up in the morning. I'm making us tea and we're coming up with plans. That's where as a woman, where I'm bringing that feminine
Mm-hmm.
energy at. So I think it's toxic when a man like, oh, she can't cook, she can't be my woman, she can't clean. I'm like, okay, well, to me, I feel like that can be
Yeah,
toxic.
absolutely. Especially if you're not open, if that person is not open to other variations of femininity or womanhood, because it changes, like you said. That's good. Question on the board right now is talking about, it sounds like how there's the idea of everyone's going to hurt you, but you choose who's worth the pain. Would you agree or disagree?
There is no possibility for love without the
Yeah.
risk of pain. There can be no love. There's no love if you're not risking pain out there. And the people you love will hurt you. They will disappoint you. They will fall short. But you have to be in the position to where you're choosing people worthy of that, of you, and worthy of your forgiveness and worthy of your grace. But everybody that is worthy of love is also going to pain you in some sort of way.
Yeah, it's a part of just being human.
Yeah. So if you're not willing to open yourself up for pain, you're not willing to open yourself up to receive love.
So under that same umbrella, working with women who may have been extremely hurt in the past from previous relationships, whether it was infidelity or maybe physical abuse, something truly toxic from the aspects of like in your face toxicity, and can't let that go. How do you help them move on if they like aspire to be married or want to have a family? How do you counsel them or help them move forward? What advice do you give them?
One of the first things I do is I tell them that I don't care what the situation was, you have to take 100% responsibility in your part in having that person in your life. It has to happen. If you can't take responsibility, you can't take power. You don't have power to move on. There's no power, because therefore you're a perpetual victim, and you can't say, you know what, I can make better choices next time. What you're saying is you didn't have the power to make a choice to trust that person. You didn't have the power to continue a relationship with that person. You had the power all along. And if you have that power, you also have the power to choose better people in the future. So that's the first thing right off the bat. And then two, they have to slowly get into the practice of, first of all, evaluating their own character. Because I think a lot of people don't know how to judge character because they have bad character. And again, bad character doesn't mean you're verbal abusive or, you know, or you're mean to people. You can literally be that nice girl and still have horrible character, still not know how to confront somebody who's done you wrong. You know, like all these types of things are included in good character. And then practice finding safe people. And if you want to learn more about that, book by Henry Cloud and John Townsend is called Safe People, and it talks about relationships and how it's needed among people and how God created people to have relationships. And if you're continuously getting in toxic relationships, how to avoid them and how to find safe people to have beautiful relationships that are worth the pain, whether it's with a friend or with a romantic partner or with family.
Wow. How do you take responsibility when it's your family and you are around them a lot?
Well, if you're an adult and you're around them a lot, I mean, my thing is, if you're an adult,
oh my God,
then you don't have to be around them a lot. That's a choice that you're choosing to make. I moved out very early when I realized how toxic the situation that I was in terms of my household. I was out as a teenager. I saved up money and I got out, but that was the plan. It took some time. It took like a year of saving up my change, but I got out. So if you're an adult, you don't have to be there.
Just the power of choice, right?
It's the power of choice. Now, here's the thing. You can say you want it, but your actions have to be centered around that. So if you say, oh, I got to move out of here, how much are you saving every week to get out? Like if financial is really the issue, who are you talking about with this? Are you online looking for roommates or a room to stay in? Like what actions are you taking every week besides saying I hate my family or I can't stand my family or my family is toxic? Like what actions are you taking? And that will prove to me whether you actually want to be away from that situation.
That's good. And so I'm sure with the clients and the people that you work with, that's a part of the process. It's like you could talk from here until tomorrow, till book 2 or till Christ comes back. But if you're not trying to make practical steps, then you just about that talk. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just games at this point.
Right, because I have women say all the time, well, I don't have friends like that. I'm like, so they keep telling me they're not meeting the type of women that I'm meeting. And I'm like, so who have you saw online that you admired? When's the last time you wrote them a note of admiration? When's the last time you pop up in their inbox and was like, what do you need for me to do? How can I serve? Like, when was the last time you did that? Or are you simply walking and thinking this stuff is going to
Oh
fall in
yeah,
your
because
lap?
God is just gonna make it fall. Because if I pay my tithe, it's just gonna
Right.
miraculously come.
Yeah, when was the last time you walked up and introduced yourself to a woman and invited her out to lunch? You're not doing these things, then you're not going to convince me that you want quality women in
Yeah,
your life. I'm not convinced.
a part of growing and uh, unlearning what's familiar, because a lot of people, they love toxicity. That's just period. That's what they're familiar with, that's what they're comfortable with, and it does take you stepping outside of your comfort zone to network with another woman that you admire, or someone that's doing something that you aspire to do. You have to come out of your comfort zone, but a lot of people are like, no, I don't want to do this, or I can't trust women, or they're going to know my business, and then now everybody's going to know my business, and all those things, which is just excuses at this point.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they just don't trust themselves to make the right decision. At the end
Ooh,
of the
that's
day.
good. Expound on that.
At the end of the day. Because we have to choose the people that are in our lives. It's our responsibility to choose those people. And when you feel that way, you don't trust that you can choose the right type of woman or the right type of man that is going to be in your life, that is going to love you, that's going to be a listening ear, that's going to encourage you, that's going to inspire you. You don't trust that. You don't trust your ability to choose the right way. And that's why you say those things.
Wow. Y'all saying ouch, because I know she she and some of y'all. I'm not gonna call no names, but it's all good. Can you speak to, because one of your videos, it had me rolling. It was great. The woman who thinks of herself higher than others because she is either a virgin or celibate, and looks down upon other women that are not. Talk a little bit about that process.
First off, a disclaimer. That video is not knocking celibate women at all. I think that it is very noble, and I applaud women who take it on. Now, that being said, celibacy alone, it is just sexual discipline. And that's one aspect of you. Celibacy isn't even like a character trait. That's something that you're deciding to do. So again, you can be celibate and keeping your legs closed and have trash character or trash personality. But it doesn't make you better because you are sexually disciplined, because your motive might be different. I hear women say all the time, well, how come I don't have a husband? I've been celibate, and I've literally had women tell me I'm tired of hoes getting married. And I'm like, okay, so you're going to keep being tired of them because, again, your character is trash. Because quote unquote hoes, I put in quotes, hoes, however they're going to define it, stay winning has nothing to do with you losing. It has nothing to do with you. There's so much of abundance. The Most High has created so much of an abundance. Like, they have nothing to do with your lack. You have something to do with your lack, and you have to fix that. They have nothing to do with that. They're not taking anything that was meant for you. So I think that there should be, if you're celibate, you're practicing celibacy, there needs to be skill sets and that are centered, that you also have to take on. And you can't use celibacy as a magic wand to get the things that you feel God has promised you.
That's good. I'm just typing this because that's nowhere to me. Celibacy is not a character trait.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So what would you say then, a woman who may be practicing celibacy or abstinence, what should she then also aspire to have regarding character? What are some of the things that you would say shows good character in a woman?
First of all, taking responsibility for choices. That is a great character trait. Someone who's constantly able to have introspection and look at, okay, these are the choices that I've made. This is how I'm going to move forward. That right there, that's a huge, a great character trait of someone. Another character trait, and if you guys are confused about the difference between character and personality, character is the moral makeup of a person, and it's showed via circumstance. Personality is kind of like, it's in your face. You can tell when someone's confident. That's personality. That's not character. But you can't tell if someone loves serving people until they get put in the fire. You can't tell that. And so that so another character trait for a moral quality of a woman, and if she's celibate, which it doesn't matter because you should have these qualities anyway, is a woman who does love to serve, who comes from a place of servitude. Because when you use celibacy as a trump card, it's like you're looking to get because of what you're not giving. You're looking to get because you're not giving this. And I'm not telling y'all to serve coochie. That's not what I'm telling y'all right now. I'm telling y'all to come from a position to where you value people. You value human beings. Men are not potential husbands. These are human beings that should be valued past the ring. And so they, you can have a conversation with them without expecting anything other than that. Or, putting yourself in a position where, I just have to, I'm not going to look his way because I just want to be found. He's a human being. We don't even know if he's going to be a husband or not. You know what I mean? Have a conversation, value people, value older women who have wisdom. What can you offer them so that they just freely give you their wisdom? Those are the types of things that, serving, having a heart to serve. And I know when people think about serving, they think about, doing things with the church, volunteering, missions. They think about that big stuff, but the little stuff every single day of when you're at an event and you see a woman, no one's talking to this one woman, she's kind of like shy. Are you introducing her to people that there? Or if y'all are in a group and someone isn't having their turn to talk because everyone's talking over them, are you the one to say, hold on, all right, let Sharon speak, she hasn't spoken yet? Are you that woman that's doing that? That's a woman who has a heart to serve. She ain't necessarily with the fish fry out there passing out to the homeless, but in everyday living, she's serving, and she's looking to serve people, and she's not looking to withhold things to get things. She has an abundance of giving because what she's giving isn't pieces of herself. They just come from her soul. But
couple questions we had by the live viewers. First question was, can people have toxic traits and not be trash?
Yeah, I have toxic traits.
Jesus.
No, we all exhibit toxic traits. We all do, some more than others, but I definitely have toxic traits that I have. One of them is my lack of listening skills sometimes when I don't like what I'm hearing. If I don't like what I'm hearing, I might shut all the way down or shut you all the way down. That's something that I've been working on for the longest, but that's toxic.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that you just demonstrated is self-awareness, which I preach. If I could sing it off a mountaintop, I will. I think the biggest thing, because we all are going to have negatives or toxic traits or things that we need to work on. That's just a part of life. If you're not growing, you're not living. But when you're self-aware, when you understand that, okay, when I'm frustrated, I'm not going to listen to you, or my attitude is is just not the best when I'm having a bad day, whatever the case is. I think the more that you're self-aware, the better you are, because it's in your face, and you don't need TorahCents to come and tell you about yourself. You know what I'm saying? So self-awareness is A1. When you find somebody that's self-aware,
it is.
They are a gem. I'm telling you.
It is, because they can consistently work on what they know is not working.
Yes. Good. So yes, people can be toxic or have toxic traits and not be trash. Another question on the board is insecurity toxic?
It can be. It doesn't always equal toxicity, but it can be. So, for example, a woman, let's just give an example of a woman who may be insecure about her body, right? It isn't toxic if she understands that that's an insecurity and she's compassionate towards herself and say, you know what, I might not like that part of my body, but I love how I look in this dress, or I love this, like showing self-appreciation. Now, another woman may be insecure about the same body part, but she's on Instagram comparing, and she talks down to her. She uses self-depreciating language concerning her body part, and she talks about how someone else just looks better than her and is going to get better men than her. These are two ladies with the same issues, but they are one exhibiting toxicity and another one is dealing with it in a healthy manner.
I like that.
Yep.
Does that answer your question, guys? Yeah.
Hold on just a sec.
That's good. Let's see. Can character be developed? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah. And you're supposed to be working on your character daily. That's something that I like. You should be investing in every single day.
Can people use that? Okay. Can people use self-awareness to avoid fixing the toxic trait just by saying, I'm working on it?
Yeah, they can, but they lack self-awareness in the fact that they're not working on it.
Right.
It takes action to actually be working on these things. So yeah,
and no, not really. We'd argue that that's not really self-awareness. I think that's more of an excuse, or people trying to be clever and play one over you. But self-awareness is really an action word, and it's in essence. When someone is truly self-aware, then they are making moves to progress, to changing that, versus just saying it's. Or the famous one is it's just who I am.
Right. No, I totally agree with you. Like, no, you have to be taking action, honey. You're not working on yourself. Working on yourself, I actually hate hearing that because it doesn't mean much to me. You know, even when it comes to women saying, oh, I want to date, but I'm working on myself right now. Like, I literally, it's so intangible. Like, I don't know what that means at all.
Right. I'm going to come to Jesus, but I'm working on myself. Okay.
Yeah. Like, what? Okay. What does that mean?
That's exactly. Tangibly. Or the idea of I'm trying. There's various people that would say you shouldn't use that word. You should just do or don't do, versus saying I'm trying, because of the fact that is intangible. Like, what does that really mean? So yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Beverly. Good. So, can you talk a little bit about the whole thing of how a woman should hold a man down regardless of what he got going on? He could be in jail, he could be doing his thing, but a real woman is going to hold her man down. Talk about how that idea is toxic.
It's toxic for several reasons. Number one, there's no boundaries there. She is not enforcing boundaries where she's put in danger, possibilities of danger, physically, mentally, and emotionally. There's also no accountability held towards the person and part of the relationship. Whenever you're in a relationship with anybody, friends, man, whatever, that party needs to be held responsible for whatever BS is going on. Like, it's literally our jobs to call them out, and hold them accountable for that. And the ride or die mentality, there's no accountability there. There is, okay, I need to just be there, and it actually hurts him more than you think that you're helping him, because he gets passes to do reckless things. And so it actually hurts his character overall, because he has no incentive to change. It's so much to talk about, but that's like the major reasons why that's incredibly toxic. No one's growing, which is toxic. When people aren't growing in a relationship, that's
Mm-hmm.
toxic, you know.
Yeah. So y'all stop, because that's you gonna die. Ain't no ride or die. It's just die. We have got to stop for real. Um, Good. Let me make sure I'm not missing any live questions.
I'm mad I'm not seeing the comments.
I know. I apologize. Facebook, they just be. Normally I do it the other way, but when I did my test run yesterday, it was funky. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna make it work. Um, let's see. You talked also about in one of your more recent videos the trying to appeal to men in three ways: physically, logically, and morally. Can you just talk briefly about that?
Oh yeah. So when I specifically was talking about, women, smart, successful, attractive,
Mm-hmm.
good women who are, really wondering like, oh my gosh, like why aren't men keep like staying interested in me, or why am I still single? And I kind of attack like the three major ways that women try to win the
Yeah.
affections of men. The first way is physically. That's like, oh, I'm attractive, I look good, or through sex, however, whatever, but it's through physical means. The second way is uh, the second way is um, uh, logically, and that's like, oh, I cook, I clean, I'm educated, I'm wifey, like off the bat, like you should want to be with me because these are the things. It just makes sense to be with me because all this stuff. And then you have morally, and that's the, oh, I'm a good girl, I'm not like these other hoes out here, right? You should want to wife me up because I'm not like them, I'm on a
Yeah.
pedestal. And those three ways, those are icings on the cake, because men are only inspired to commit when they feel compelled through, and they feel compelled and inspired through their emotions. And society ignores the fact that men have emotions and men can emotionally connect, because of our conditionings. But when you're able to connect with a man emotionally, where he feels, you know safe in your presence, when he feels like he can be himself, like you're not trying to change him, when he feels like he can be free, because commitment to a lot of men is a loss of
Mm-hmm.
freedom. But when a woman is able to connect emotionally, he doesn't even feel like he's losing any type of freedom just by being with you, because the way y'all connected, then that doesn't happen. So we need to stop trying to do things for men, stop trying to uh, do wife duties, or stop trying to use all those other measures, and just focus on connecting with the man emotionally. And that is the key. Provide a man an experience, not do
Mm-hmm.
things for him. Don't do things, don't cook, don't clean, because when you provide an experience, that cooking and cleaning doesn't matter. It
Mm-hmm.
just doesn't.
I
I don't care what these men say. Oh, she got to cook and clean. When you give him an experience, it
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
period. I love the fact that you said, that a lot of times, and we're tradition, especially those that grew up in church, to like be you talked about like trying to do wife things or be a wife when you can't even just have a conversation with a guy, like simple conversation. You do not know how to speak to a guy, so how are you gonna get to be a wife? But you just can't have basic conversation, like you skipping steps, boo. Like how how are you doing that?
Right.
And I love that. I personally um I have a lot of male friends just because I played basketball like in college and still to this day. So naturally, there's a lot of guys there. So I'm just comfortable. I'm okay with talking to guys. Um, it's this there. There's no doesn't have to be sexual. It's just like I'm good. I have really good communication with guys. And it wasn't until I had to sit back and analyze. I'm like, why are other women not like this, or why do they think that's awkward? It's because they never were placed themselves in a situation where they could just have platonic conversation and it be normal to them, which to me is sad.
Yeah, because we're so busy trying to
Yeah.
get him instead of trying to get him as in understand him. Like, it ain't always about the ring. It ain't like it like literally these people are humans. They have a lot to offer the world, whether they become your husband or not. So when you see this cute guy standing beside you in Starbucks, you acting like he isn't there because you want him to approach you because this is how you're going to be found. It's ridiculous. Yeah. He's a human being, and if you see him and he's cute in Starbucks, there's nothing wrong with starting up a conversation and talking to him. It doesn't mean you're pursuing him. The only reason you think you're pursuing him is because you have objectified him, and you romanticize him when you should have never done that. You should see him just like like if she was a woman standing behind you, you should have that same type of mindset that he's worth the same type of conversation that she is, and you don't deny him the conversation because you want to be found. That's just ridiculous.
And I feel the same way. And then we, as women, we don't want to be objectified or feel like we're a piece of meat, but we do that to guys all the time. And I really struggle with that.
All the time.
All the time.
All the time. It's not like, I'm like, stop focusing on trying to be pursued and start pursuing conversations, and you will realize how many quality men that you attract just by stop trying to be pursued so bad.
Yeah, that's good. We really have to start valuing our men.
Past the ring, past any type of relationship or anything, even if you're not attracted to him, he's a human.
Yeah. Exactly. There was a question. Let's see if I can find it. Okay. Ebony says, so could you address on the common theme that women are asked to wait until he is ready?
I don't believe that. First of all, I don't believe in becoming exclusive with any man until he's earned your exclusivity. We talk a lot about women being the prize. You're no longer the prize when you become his girlfriend and y'all haven't discussed marriage yet. Like, he hasn't earned your exclusivity. So I personally feel like you should be dating multiple men until one man feels like you're married.
Exactly.
And you decide whether you want to move forward. You make the choice. You're the prize. But when you see a guy you like and he likes you and you just want to text him or talk to him just because y'all like each other, you no longer become the prize. You've lost prizehood at that point, because now he's made you, he knows that he's the only one in your life, and he didn't have to do anything but like you.
And he doesn't have to do anything else.
He didn't have, right. All he didn't have to talk to you, the important men in your life, right? He didn't have to show his character over time. It's like, oh, we like each other. Oh, I'm finna just kick it with him because we got good chemistry. He didn't earn anything. All he did was make you laugh and sent you some good morning texts. Right. And now y'all exclusive. Because I never believed in boyfriends. And I remember when I was single and I was on my YouTube channel, I was just like, I don't believe in boyfriends. And people were like, oh, you're going to be single forever, Torah. I was like, no. Like, I'm not going to be single forever, because I'm going to deal with men who understand this concept. That's what I'm going to deal with. I'm going to only deal with men who understand this concept. And my husband, when we were dating, literally before we became exclusive, got on the phone with the important men in my life. He sent me a folder with his birth certificate, social security card, his high school transcripts, everything. Now, I'm not saying y'all men have to do that. I'm just saying you don't have to have somebody as your boyfriend if they're serious about being with you. They will make sure that they earn the right to hold you down. But no, you need to be out there dating multiple people and exploring your options until one man says, you know what, I'm interested in possibly making you my wife. Oh, yeah, then we can talk. But I'm not going to be in limbo waiting for him to make a decision. I'm no longer the prize. Right. I'm going to make the decision because after that, I'm under your leadership. So up until this point, I make the decisions.
Right. You out here on your own, just, trying to survive.
Right.
I can't wait to run this back. I need to rehear some of this stuff. Facts. It's good. Yes, and I think you also talked about like how it's important to date multiple people, and that dating doesn't always equate to having sex with them. And if you're dating multiple people, that does not make you a hoe.
No, you ain't got to bust it open
Exactly.
for nobody. You're literally collecting data, getting to know people, evaluating character, learning, growing, having new experiences. All of that's happening. So I would not be ashamed. I would literally enjoy that experience where you're receiving all this adoration from multiple people, where you have the choice to choose instead of you being desperately trying to be chosen. I ain't about that life. I'm out here waiting to be chosen. I'm out here fighting for the ring with the boyfriend. Nah, you're going to have to earn this. Like, I'm not going to be in limbo trying to figure out when Troy is going to propose, or if Troy is thinking about marriage. That Troy has to be thinking about marriage before Troy asks to be my only man.
And I think in those moments, that's how we as women are caught off guard. Or you're with this guy 10, 15 years, whatever the case is, and then he decides he wants to leave. And so now there's 10, 15 years of wasted time, if you will.
Well, it teaches the men that they either have to step up or step out.
Period.
There's no sticking around with mediocre. Like, they literally have to get your attention. They have to book you for your attention, or somebody else will. Oh, you didn't answer my text? Cool. Bobby did.
Period.
Okay. I'm unbothered. Because you're not me and you don't go together.
Right. I am not mutually exclusive. Period.
Right.
I love it. I love it. There's a lot of people saying, ouch. This is good. I'm glad. Because that's how you grow. You grow in those uncomfortable spaces. Self-awareness.
Yeah.
Say a lot of for the people in the back. Step up or step out. Yes. Somebody said, period.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Guys were like, well, I don't think I need to be with a woman like that. Okay. And it's all good, because I believe in abundance. There's always going to be somebody who wants me.
Period. Yes. I love this. Okay, it's 8:59. So to wrap up, can you explain, because you're so passionate about this topic, which I love. Could you tell us or give us some insight into like why is this such a passion of yours?
Because of what I've seen so many women subject themselves to, from having multiple kids with the same man who's never married them, from having a bunch of toxic relationship year after year, from being in limbo of not wanting to be married, from being 50 and 60 years old and never been in a healthy relationship, nowhere near marriage, broken homes in our Black community. That stuff has to end. Like, we can't be living like that. If we want better, we have to start with families. And if we have to start with families, we have to start picking better mates. So that's why I'm passionate about it. We got to build legacies out here that are going to...
Uh-oh. Torah, can you hear me? Shoshana, don't wrap up. We have. Oh my gosh. Can't hear you. They don't want us to be great. You spin that hot fire. No. It sounds like it's static. I hear static. Nope. Oh, I think I heard something.
Sorry, I have an app that turns off all my apps off at a certain time so I can stop being on my apps.
Come on, boundaries.
So it turns off not... Yes, those are my boundaries. I'm off of social media when those apps come on. So, yeah. And until 7 o'clock the next morning.
I love that.
Yeah, so I'm not spoiled.
Right. Ooh, I love that. Come on.
So I just overrode the system just now to stay on here. But where was I?
Wow. I just had a brain freeze myself too. Oh, why you're so passionate about what you do.
Oh yeah. That's why I'm passionate about what I do. I want women to have, especially Black women. No shade to no other race, but I'm just saying we the ones waiting on God, and God, if God is having all these other races get married before us,
Right.
Right? He's responsible for every other race getting married before us. Like I just really I believe that we have the capacity for it. It's just that we have to have the right teaching,
Yes.
and if I have the gift, I need to put it out there.
Absolutely. And so with that being said, there's a lot of people, they're like, I don't want the conversation to end, but we believe in boundaries. And we also believe in getting our coins for what we do. Amen. So how can people connect with you? I know you have several different things and ways that you impact women. So talk a little bit about your business and how people can connect with you.
Okay, so for the free Lolo, free 99, you can join me on Instagram and Facebook at TorahCents. I do a little bit of razzle dazzle on Twitter at the handle TorahCents. So you can catch me there. And if you want to work with me you want some resources that are not available to the public, you can start working with me for $29 a month with my Date with Sense community. If you're interested in learning how to date better, have a fun, fruitful, forward-moving, and fearless dating experience towards marriage, I have tons of resources from how to navigate dating while celibate, as well as how to slay your first date, as in how to respond to his good morning text. Have all those types of resources in the portal, $29 a month. So many different resources. And if you really are serious about accelerating on your marriage journey and you want to work with me at a high level, you can go to curvetocuffed.com. That's curve, CURVED, to cuff, CUFFED, and join the waiting list. To join my 90-day group program where I help women develop the clarity, the confidence, and the connection that they need in order to up level their dating towards marriage. And that's curvetocuff.com.
Perfect. All right. I was trying to put the actual link. Perfect. There it goes. So everybody, and I'm pinning it so you can see it in the comments. That's curvetocuffed.com. As well as Date with Sense, which is $29 a month. And you can always follow Torah on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. And I linked her Facebook page as well, TorahCents everywhere. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. I have a little joke. I am like a super fan, right? And so everybody, so we spoke, was it last week or? Yeah, I think it was last week, talking about the show, whatever the case is. And before I got on the phone with you, so I knew we had our meeting, and I was on the phone with one of my friends. I'm like, I gotta go because I have a meeting with Torah, and she's actually the one that put me on to your videos. So she's like screaming, and she's like, okay, call me back, let me know how it goes. So I'm cool, right? I'm like, yeah, girl, I'll call you back. So I'm on the phone with you, and I'm just cool and collective, mind you. Like, I want to scream. I feel like I'm talking to Oprah. I'm like, oh my God. I get off the phone and I'm screaming. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I'm totally fangirling. So I text her and I'm like, I'm screaming right now. She's like, I was wondering why you were so calm earlier. I'm like, I had to play it. She couldn't know, you know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, that's always crazy to hear that.
So with all that being said, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate it. The wealth knowledge that you brought to the viewers. They're saying that it was great. I'm saying it was great. So thank you for all that you do, and just continue to, in those moments where you feel like, man, forget these people, just remember us.
It was great. I'm in Atlanta because I live in St. Louis. So we traveled down to Atlanta for this conference. I was like, oh, I gotta go talk to Shara. We have a meeting tonight. I gotta go to the car. So I'm like in this car in a mall parking
Oh my
lot
God.
because I had to have this thing. I was like, I gotta get there. So
Thank you.
we all
That is
did
dope.
though.
I love it.
Yeah, my pleasure. I mean, I'm very happy that I came. I'm mad that can't see the comments. I'll go look
Okay.
afterwards. But I enjoyed the show. It was good. Very nice. You keep
Thank
doing
you.
this. Keep doing this. You're great. You're a great innovator. I love the conversational style. Keep
Thank
it
you.
up. You know,
Will do.
people are gonna be downloading your podcast by the
Hey,
millions.
come on, prophesy. Yes. Thank you so much. That's dope. Well, please stay connected. I'm stay connected with you. However I can help you, let me know. I'll make sure that I put your Twitter handle as well as your Instagram. I'll link it as well. And you guys, you can hit her up, follow her, join Date with Sense, Curve to Cuff, do all that stuff. Thanks again so much. I really appreciate it.
All the good
Yes.
stuff. My pleasure, girl. My pleasure.
I'm gonna let you go ahead and get back to your boundaries. Turn that app off.
All right, girl.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye bye.